Welcome, welcome. This is On the Line, and today we are talking about collaboration. It is NBA All Star Weekend, and we want to exemplify that with our beautiful jerseys that we have on here. So, there's not just in sports that you have collaborations, you also have collaboration at school and in work. And we are here to discuss all the ways you can contribute as a collaboration because teamwork is very important. It makes the dream work. So we're not experts in the topic, but we are no dummies. And I want to introduce our fellow collaborators here at On the Line. We have Crystal.
Hey guys, happy All Star Weekend. Excited for you to listen to our episode today. And over here, we have Steven.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. And our host for All Star Weekend episode collaboration is John.
Bang! And we hit it from downtown. A little preview of the game we're going to have for Crystal later in this episode, where she guesses some sports terminology and a little bit of referee calls. So we're going to get into collaboration. We are now on the line. So, working in teams is all around us. There are different aspects of it, good and sometimes bad. We want to watch out for things such as groupthink and also that mob mentality that does come with working in a team, but there's also great pluses to working in a team and collaborating, which comes with a lot of diversity, different perspectives from different people. And if you work in a group, you also get a lot more things done. You can divide and conquer, get things done as fast as possible. So when we are in these groups, guys, when we are collaborating, we are in this team together. How do you guys set the limit or see where your part is in contributing?
I think it's really key to get it basically to gauge the room, get perspectives on a lot of different people who are participating in this collaboration. What you want to do is stay on the same page, whether you're in a group or in a partnership. Within collaborations, you want to make sure that you have all of your perspectives in place and are on the same plane. You don't want any outstanding expectations coming from someone, especially if they're not vocalized. So I think one big thing is to make sure that you gauge the room, get everyone's perspective on this collaboration, and maybe just pick their brain and see how they expect this process to go through.
Yeah, definitely see how much everybody's willing to contribute because you always have those people that stand up really quickly. They want to be the leader quickly. Some people that just talk out of nowhere, ready to go at all points. But then there's also those people who are more laid back and don't speak up as much. So definitely gauge the room and see what kind of, different personalities you have in your team or in your group. Say you don't know like who wants to contribute what, no one's really stepping up. I think the best thing to do here to decide like how much each person should contribute is definitely figure out all the tasks that need to be done. Like, what are we trying to accomplish in this group? What is the goal? Find a way to break that big goal or that big task up into little smaller steps and then evenly distribute those tasks amongst everybody in the group. Collaboration means everybody has to contribute. Maybe just try to evenly distribute and divide up all the different things that need to be done so that everybody has something to contribute and everybody's contributing at least a little bit on an equal basis.
What I always say when it comes to collaboration is I want to get enough done to where I get my job done, but I never want to do too little to where it affects somebody else's job. So I do like to do as little as possible, depending on the project. Usually it's a little as possible, but I never want to affect how somebody else will have to do their part of that job. So I want to make sure that I do enough to where nobody else gets, affected by say my lack of work. If you guys like to you like to hit that line, just use that as a sentiment. Don't mess anybody else up.
Yeah, people are relying on you and you want to be trustworthy. Like if you're going to trust everyone else to do their part, like do your part.
I'm definitely in that same sense where like I would like to contribute as very little as possible to get by, but make sure that it doesn't kind of hurt somebody else's work. So I definitely want to contribute my fair share. But I at least want to add my sense of like character to what I'm contributing to. I'm not just going to give them some like half-hearted kind of contributions. I want to make sure that I'm at least putting in some quality work. It can really show that it's coming from me versus Crystal if I were to, let's say, contribute something on this podcast. Because, it brings that sense of character out of your team by being able to piece, some strong points from individual people and then use it to collaborate with all the other personalities or characters that you have in this group. It really stands out. So I would like to at least contribute, the least amount just because, I don't like to give that much effort on it, but I do want to be able to make sure that my sense of character is being put into this project just as much as somebody else.
I mean, the word least here is like sounds negative, but honestly, like
It's efficient.
just do as much as you should be doing. You don't need to go overboard on everything you're doing. You don't have to be like the star of the show. Just contribute enough so that the whole group performs accurately or efficiently. That's why it's a group thing. You just contribute enough. Like if you're contributing at least the smallest amount that you can, you're still contributing. So it's not really a negative. At least you're not contributing.
The idea is enough to get the job done, not as little as possible to not do the work at all. So as long as the job gets done, I say little as possible because that's that line that you can kind of measurable. Like I did this, now the job can be done. But that's the key part. The job can now be done. It can be finished.
But if you're someone like me who hates failing and just needs everything to be like perfect all the time, sometimes I just like to gauge the room and then everyone can do like what they're comfortable with, the least amount or like whatever they want to do. And then if there's like holes in there, like that's when I'll step up and do those extra things to fill in the job. Like some people don't like do everything. There's those leaders that are in a group and they're like, I'm going to do everything. Everyone just put your name on it. You never want to do that because
Nice. Oh,
you want to get the perspective from everybody in the group for it to work efficiently. Don't overdo it, but also be if you don't like failing or you want everything to be perfect, you can still fill in the parts that no one else wants to do, especially if it's something that's like in addition to the main goal.
And this is also probably not something that is great, but if you say you're at work and you do a certain level of work all the time, right? You grade that line where you get the job done, you don't do anything more, you don't do anything less, but you hit that line every single time. There's that little added bonus to where when you do a little more, it shows up. People are like, wait a second, he did some bonus stuff here. I kind of like
yep.
that. So there's a built-in praise. Don't practice this in life just to do that, but just know that there is a little bonus to doing just what needs to be done because then you have that headroom to go even further up. So if you want to show that you really care about a project, boom, you have that headroom. If you're doing the top of every single project, when everything is amazing, is anything really amazing?
Exactly. Just set the ground rules for yourself. Like you can't just go over and above for everything that you do. You'll burn out that way. Just, do what you need to do and get it done. And then on the things that you feel really passionate about, you can go over and above for those. Because it's not as hard for you to do something to the top a potential that you can do it if you really love whatever that is.
So when we're working in a group, there's always that time where, say, you're in school and you have this group and it's all your friends. You kind of know all your roles. You're able to kind of fill into the spots that you used to do if you worked on a lot of group projects together. But then you get into those situations where you are in a group and you say you're not too familiar with everybody. Say you are at work and you're working with somebody for the first time. They're from a different company. They're doing something different. There are certain things when you are working with new people that you have to establish that you might not have established if you had been working with your friends. So one of these things is leadership. How do you guys kind of sort out leadership, whether you step up or you step down from a certain leadership standpoint when you come to work with a group that, say, you're not too familiar with?
It's just that what you just said, step up and stepping down. You have to find the perfect line between stepping up and stepping back. Step up when no one else is, when everybody is hiding in the corner, like, who wants to lead this? Everyone's just like, not me. But step up when everybody else doesn't want to. When you could feel it out first and see what everybody's willing to do. Like if you're nervous about being the leader, you normally aren't. See if anybody else will step up first, but there's a point when someone has to step up. If that's going to be you, you should do it. Especially if you want to grow your leadership skills. Say you've never been a leader, maybe step up in the next project so that you can get those skills and figure out the best ways to be a leader by just troubleshooting. And stepping back is really important too, because you want to hear different point of views from everybody in the group or team. You're not the only one who's going to be talking all the time. You shouldn't be the only one providing ideas. Give like space between everything so that everyone else in the group or team can contribute.
I think there's always a negative to the idea of not being the leader. It's like, oh, that guy's the leader, that guy runs the show. But also think of it in this sense: if you're not the leader and you're kind of just the role player, you don't really have to do as much as you would have to do if you were a leader. So just know that there's no shame in taking a step down from leadership, because let me tell you, it's definitely a lot more responsibilities and a lot more certain aspects come when you do step up and be the leader. The role player definitely works out in the situation too.
Yeah, I think you can like kind of divide it between like the technical things that need to be done and like the soft skills stuff that need to be done. So like if you're the leader, like obviously you want to get all the technical goals done, like distribute that amongst the team like hey everybody we need to get these done and everyone needs to contribute to that, but then you're really responsible for everybody to like have that inspiration to want to do it, give everybody that motivation. When you have a team for it to work properly, you want to build like that morale, that trust between everyone so that it can work properly. And if you're the leader, you're almost responsible for that because everybody's looking to you to lead by example. And the way you're acting is the way it's reflecting off for the rest of the group. So being a leader is huge and only step up if you feel up to the challenge to do that because everybody's going to be looking to you when something goes wrong or to just establish the ground rules for that group or team.
I feel like one way that I try to establish like who could be the leader in a group, let's say I'm working in a class project and, none of us are familiar with each other and we don't typically have, that person who just steps up and, establishes themselves as the leader of the group. I think what I tend to do is basically just like sit down and have a little conversation or two about, what direction we want to go with this project and sort of kind of form a leadership role in the sense where, whoever has that initiative to, carry out the plans that they see for this process to be done is kind of taking that leadership role. So I feel like, finding those qualities in these people when you just talk to them is something that I kind of try to pick up on. But even then, things can change throughout the course of time. So even let's say someone, says that they can be the leader, it's a fluid kind of relationship, with this group, with this team. It's a collaboration. So I feel like that leadership title is something that can shift from person to person, or it could be, like a collaborative thing where let's say two people are the leader of a group of five. It's something that I feel like isn't so defined, let's say, in collaborating. It's easier to pick up to see, who wants to take initiative and to take that leadership role. If it gets divvied up between, the team members, I feel like that can also work as well.
There's not always one leader to a group. To bring basketball into this, since it is NBA All-Star weekend, you have the Golden State Warriors where they have Steph Curry and they have Draymond Green. Oftentimes you'll hear someone say this guy is the emotional leader, and then there's also the best player who is just de facto the best player. They're the leader because they're the best player on the team. So there is those two different roles. There could be different levels, different categories of leadership that occur in a group when you have it. It's all about sussing it out.
And I want to riff off the idea like that Steph Curry is just like great at basketball, so people just clearly look to him to be a leader. Another way to figure out like when you should step up to be a leader is just to step up when you're knowledgeable in that area of like the issue or the goal at hand. So like if something you're in a team of is, the main goal is something that you're passionate about or something that you have an expertise in, definitely step up to be the leader there because you're going to be the one that's going to be the most inspiring to lead that role.
Also, when you're in a group, there comes to that point, say no one wants to step up and quite be the leader. Everyone's just kind of sitting by. They're like, it'll eventually get done. But there does hit that point where something needs to get done. So maybe that is the breaking point where like, hey, okay, now I'm gonna step up and be the leader because we have 2 days to finish this project and nothing done. Let's just get on it. There's that quote, I forget what it is exactly. It's like those are like thrusted leadership is thrusted upon them. Sometimes that moment where you have 30 minutes to finish a project that you just got to jump in and be the leader.
Yeah, in those situations when the anxiety just builds up and the deadline is close and you're already procrastinating, just step up. Because sometimes it's not that everybody doesn't want to do anything, it's that they just want someone to follow. It's not that they're not going to contribute, it's just that someone needs to take charge and tell everybody, like, this is what's going to happen and we need to get it done. Just to get that, like, again, that morale, that team morale. Sometimes you just got to step up.
Sometimes you can even, feel that situation coming. If you're sitting in your room or wherever you are and you're thinking to yourself, should I say something or should I step up or should I just, take on that role myself? That's, room for improvement for the group. And you could probably step up and say something to someone and you'll get some instant feedback, whether or not they believe that you can step up as well, if you're looking for that reassurance. But if you have those thoughts looming and they pop up in your mind, maybe I should contribute a little bit more. I don't know if that's in my realm, vocalize it. The worst thing is that they can say they have a grasp on things. You contribute your 2 cents and then the project moves on. But, if you have that feeling, I say that is the most opportune time for you to step up and you should utilize it.
So I want to throw this question to you guys. In terms of, I guess this is more in terms of work, when it comes to leadership, a lot of times it falls into seniority. How do you guys feel if someone younger than you, say in your job or whatever, someone who doesn't have as much experience tries to step up and be the leader? What is the line do you think is like, okay, no, 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 wait your turn? Or like, oh, okay, no, go ahead, do it. Why don't you go ahead and step up and be the leader?
I'm definitely one to let someone get ahead of me if they're trying to prove themselves. I'll see how long that fire can burn for or how strong it can go burn for. But I'd like to say I'm more than willing to take a step back or take a side step and let this guy, this person, do what they need to do, especially if they feel that confident about it to vocalize it.
I agree. I think just when someone is going full force and wants to be a leader, I think you should support them and let them shine in the way that they can. And if you feel nervous about it, you could step in and give them some criticism or some ideas on ways they can be a better leader. But I don't think you should ever just like knock someone down and say, "Hey, no, you can't. You're not qualified." I think the only way for people to learn how to be a leader is to just step up and try to be one. And that's how you learn. You get feedback from everyone around you. And even if you're like a first time leader, that's why you're a leader for a team and your team is there to help you lead the project. So I would always just, even if it doesn't matter age in at least in my workplace, I think if you feel ready to lead, you step back and let them shine and let them take the job.
I think there's always that element of as long as you have a good feel if they could do it properly. I think taking a step back, like I said, if you could take a step back and do less work, power to you. Why don't you take it? But there's also that element where you also want to double check and make sure if they're a little younger than you and more inexperienced, always feel the need. You can check up. You could also help them, be like, hey, by the way, if you have a question about the certain thing, say they're not getting through to some person or what have you, share up your advice. It's all about, paying it forward so that other people can also do things too. I know there's a lot of competitive fields out there and might not be as conducive to share trade secrets, but I think it's always good to get an ally because they can potentially be an ally to you in the work environment. Now, to bring that also, have you guys ever tried to supersede, say, a senior? Or have you ever tried to jump into that role where you are like, okay, let me take control of this ship and I'm gonna bring us home.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely have. Specifically in the workplace, I noticed that there were, I was joining in on this team of 3 people. So I was the fourth. And they have been at this hospital. I think one has been there for a year and the other two have been there for more than 10. A couple of them are pretty seasoned, and there's a newer person, but I was the new person onto the team. And I wanted to make everyone know that I'm able to handle that leadership role and I can command the ship in that sense. I felt like I can handle all the responsibility on my own. So I kind of reassured them that they can work at the same pace that they do, and I'll just pick up all the slack, take on that added responsibilities. I've been there and it has become overwhelming at times. So I did take a step back and see if, someone else would step up to kind of fill that void, in which they didn't. I was the captain of the ship until I jumped ship and switched departments into a different role because I realized that I was leading a ship that, didn't want to go into any direction. I was taking command of a team that didn't want a leader nor cared for one. And so unfortunately, I had to leave that team and take my talents elsewhere.
As a
But
sinking
yes,
ship.
I definitely have taken that leadership role, unfortunately, in the wrong area.
I have. I mean, in the corporate workplace, I think it's hard to step up and be a leader, especially if someone of seniority is in that team. But I think stepping up and taking that leadership when you feel confident enough, when you feel you are, very knowledgeable in that area and you feel you can succeed in being the leader. When I felt like I could succeed in being a leader, I definitely have. And the reason why I've done that is because the only way to show the people around you and the people in seniority that you're capable of doing those things is to just do it and step up in those situations. Your boss is not going to know that you're able to lead unless you show them that you have those skills and that you can do something. You could just try and fail and try and fail. I think you should always go and try to be a leader in the situations to show people that you can lead. So I definitely have stepped up in being a leader. Sometimes my boss has like so many things going on and they just don't have the time to be a leader. So I've stepped up in those situations. Sometimes I feel like I've been more involved in that specific department or in that specific area of our team that I'm like, you know what, you could take a seat. Like I could definitely handle this one. And that just really shows your interest in growing and it gives you more room to be a leader in the future. People are going to trust you more and it's just a way to showcase your skills. So don't be afraid to step up at work. I think it's a huge thing you want to do, especially if you want to continue climbing up the corporate ladder.
So the reason why I brought this up is because I think it's so important for everyone to understand that you don't have to become the leader and stay the leader. Steve mentioned it earlier. There's a fluctuation in leadership. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be a coup. It doesn't have to be like Captain Phillips. I'm the captain now. It's just if there's a spot, you gotta be flexible with your role. Be comfortable with being the leader. Be comfortable with being a role player. Be comfortable at being the guy all the way at the end of the bench that doesn't get any minutes. If you're comfortable in every single role, when that spot is empty, you can fill that role. And something that's probably more valuable than just, I'm only a leader, I could only be a leader, is someone who could bounce around and do things in a team, in a collaboration. That's important. If there's a role that needs to be filled and you can fill that role, that is huge for you. So, anybody who's watching this, be flexible with your roles. Please be flexible with your role. So, sometimes when we step up and we fill in these specific roles. There is unfortunately that role of a slacker. I fall into that role quite a bit sometimes, although I do like to get the job done. Slacking is a part of collaboration. How do you guys deal with specific slackers? If you are one, how do you get out of being a slacker? What do you guys have about slackers?
I'm going to say that not all slackers realize they're being a slacker. Sometimes slackers aren't doing it purposely. They just are either shy or don't know how to jump in. So, a way to get them involved, especially if you're the leader or even if you're not the leader, if you're like having a meeting or a group setting, ask a question to them like, "Hey, Shelly, how do you feel about this? What are your ideas on this?" Give them a direct question so they can answer or, assign them a specific task. Like, "Hey, Shelly, you're in charge of this. You haven't really, well, don't single them out and
You
say
haven't
like, "You
done
haven't done
anything,
anything. You
Shelly.
haven't done anything, Shelly. You're screwing up the whole thing. You need to do this." Don't Don't approach them that way. Just, get them involved by doing something specific. Ask them a question, assign them a task.
I think I like to take a more non-conventional route, and if I notice that someone isn't putting up their own weight, I'll just build my own relationship with that person aside from the work itself. I'll just have that communication just so that, when time comes, I could be like, "Hey, what are you even contributing to this project or what can you offer?" Obviously not
Mhm.
in demeaning tone whatsoever, but at least it's my kind of gateway to asking the question, right? So I'll pull someone to the side, I'll have a conversation about, let's say, All-Star Weekend, because why not? And then next thing you know, I'm just going to be like, hey, so how are we going to be able to hit this deadline? Like, what do you think? And then just to see what their perspective is on, and then if they have some kind of insight on something, or if they feel, a little knowledgeable about a topic and they start riffing on it, I'll kind of fuel the fire and then see if that can spark an idea to get them to start, contributing to the group a little bit.
Sometimes slackers don't do anything is because they don't feel comfortable. So befriending them will make them feel comfortable with you. And then therefore in the group setting or the team, they feel more comfortable to share their ideas because they're comfortable with you. And if you're there, they feel that extra support to feel comfortable in the whole group. So I do like that idea of just singling them out and be friends with them. Just get them to be comfortable with you so they could share their ideas with you and they can contribute that way.
And,
Yeah.
hopefully the rest of the group can recognize that that was my contribution to the group by getting, Timmy off the bench and putting some minutes in. That also helps how much I put on the table because, without me, you wouldn't have the two of us here.
I got Timmy to play, so I'm not gonna play because that was my
Yeah,
contribution. Like,
I got him. So why not?
I can just sit back and relax now.
So this idea, I'm gonna throw in another kind of basketball metaphor here because 'tis the season for it. You want to go, 1v1 with you gotta get some 1v1 action with this person. So whether Shelly or Timmy's over here and they're not really contributing, whether they're shy or they're just uncomfortable or they just don't want to put in the work, get that one-on-one action. So like you guys, like we've been saying, you connect that bond. You can come up to them and be like, "Hey, what's on your mind? What do you guys think? What are you thinking about this?" Because some people don't ask about what they think about the project. Oh man, what do you think about doing this over here? Because now they don't have to share to the whole group; they just share to you. And if it's good
Right.
enough, you want to don't include them. Just take that idea; it's yours now. But if it's like an okay idea, you can be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Shelly said that we could do this." So take the good looks for yourself. As also in that shy realm, 1v1 going 1v1, I say 1v1 specifically, someone who has been shy in groups, a lot of times if someone is in the group and now they call on you to speak, now I have to talk in front of everyone. No thanks. I'd rather not contribute at all.
Yep.
So just be careful. So it's different to go up to somebody and talk to them interpersonally, then they feel, more free to share their ideas versus being like, "Hey, everybody, why don't we listen to what Shelly has to say? Why don't we all listen to what Tim has to say?" Because now it's like, uh, yeah,
Don't mess it up. Let's hear what
I
you
don't
got to
know.
say.
So definitely thread that line, 1v1 versus, singling somebody out to do it like on the spot.
Either that or offer them money.
I'll give you $20 to write the whole paper.
And also something you can do with, say, someone who's not contributing as much is if they're just slacking because they don't want to do any work, something to kind of give them like this like extra to go ahead and do something. To be like, hey, by the way, you are the expert in this thing. Why don't you go ahead and fill us in? You
Oh,
do this the best. Say
see?
Shelly is you're doing something with math and you're like, "Hey, Shelly, you solve that equation. You're way better than us to do. If we try to do it, we're gonna mess up. You're the expert. Go ahead and do it." Because when somebody feels like they're the expert at something, they're like, "Okay,
Me?
I am the expert. Let me go ahead and help you idiots out." So if you can give someone that kind of role of like, you're the resident expert at this thing, they feel
Confident.
better about themselves to contribute for sure.
I like that. Boost their confidence. So then they feel like, oh, I'll step in and feel confident about it.
That's basically how I take those one-on-one conversations is I try to see, if I can empower them on the side. And then, if they feel that sense of empowerment, I'll be like, hey, that's actually a great idea. Maybe you should pitch that next time somebody says, calls your name. You're like, hey, Shelly, what do you think? You can go tell them, like let's scrap this whole project and go somewhere else.
But if you can
Yeah.
take that idea, they're not gonna share it with somebody. Well, no, they didn't set it all day. So guess what? I have this idea.
And
Let
they
me
can't
share it
prove
to
it
you.
either.
Oh
That's
my
the best
god.
part. They can't prove it because you weren't talking in the group. It was just you two.
Do you
So,
believe me or quiet Timmy over here? Yeah,
yeah,
right.
they haven't
Quiet
contributed
Timmy.
anything.
This guy, he's a little off the rocker. I was talking to him earlier. He mentioned
Oh,
something about crazy people.
now this is his idea. Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, heard that
Oh,
one before.
Timmy is literally dying here.
Down with Timmy. Down with Timmy.
So as you can see, the collaboration breeds really good opportunities to get everyone involved and have diverse and new perspectives brought to the table. But as you also can see, there is an element of group think. So if somebody says something, other people might just agree to agree. There's that mob mentality when it comes to it. So there are dangers to teamwork that it's good to know certain things to identify, hey, maybe this is becoming something that isn't that great. So why don't we speak a little bit on groupthink? Go ahead, Crystal, why don't you fill us in?
Yeah, so this kind of is a part of like how to get slackers to get involved is because you don't want one person to contribute the ideas for the whole team. You want a diverse amount of ideas, perspectives. We keep saying that diversity in a team and in ideas is so important to find the best possible solution or the best possible way to get to a goal. You can't just say your idea and then expect that it's the best. When everybody else contributes their ideas, you can come up with a compromise on the best way to do it. You're considering all options. So if you want to consider all options, you want to set ground rules at the beginning of a meeting or at the beginning of, this team project and tell them like, everybody's welcome here. Everybody should feel comfortable sharing their ideas. That's the only way we can work efficiently and get the best options to choose from. If you're a leader, don't be intimidating. Don't, stomp on everybody and tell everybody that their ideas are bad. Let everyone feel that they're invited to share their ideas. And if you're the leader, if you see someone not participating, point them out again. Ask them for their alternative ideas. Ask them for a critique. And a really good way to get someone to contribute is have them be a devil's advocate. Say they don't have any ideas, maybe just like have them think of things that can go wrong with a certain idea. Have a devil's advocate in your team or your group, and that will definitely help with groupthink.
Yeah, groupthink is definitely something you should be wary of. You want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard if you're playing that leadership role. So we're going to be moving into our game here. Crystal is going to be guessing some sports terms and also some referee calls in the spirit of All-Star Weekend. We have some basketball terms here that we do want to test Crystal on. So why don't we see how good Crystal is with sports terminology?
We have some pretty basic ones. The first one, we'll open it up and ask Crystal if she knows what is a penalty.
I mean, I feel like that's easy, right? It's just if someone breaks the rules, then they get a penalty. So they have to either sit out or they get some type of consequence. Yeah?
Spooky, scary skeleton.
Hey, I got the gist of it.
Penalty's a penalty. We don't want to trip you up so bad. Whether you say penalty or penalty, it is just what you described right there in sports terms.
Woo!
The next one we'll go into is primarily in the sport of football.
Okay.
The sports term we're going for here is fumble. What is a fumble?
Easy. When you drop the ball, so now the possession is no longer a possession, and whoever grabs the ball first can get possession. So if you pretty much just drop the ball in your play.
Nice. That was
Very well
money
done.
all the way.
Very well
Hey!
done.
Here is kind of a phrase that is used in terms of basketball. We'll say from downtown, or as I like to say, from Kankakee. He shot that from the other county. What does
From
that mean?
From
From
downtown.
downtown.
Like downtown, like down that way.
Like
Like
downtown.
super downtown. Like I'm assuming like down the court. Like they're in the court and they're like downtown. um like
Go
okay,
on.
I'm gonna take a wild guess. Like if you're 10 feet away from like the paint. I don't know.
You know what? You kind of circled back into something that was more in the realm of what it means. When you
What
started
is
off,
it?
it was
Yeah.
definitely not right. But from downtown means, when you shoot a 3-pointer or anything beyond it, really.
Okay.
So anything
Yeah,
that costs more than 2 points.
from
It's not
downtown.
like past the free throw line. Does that have a different term? I mean, the half court line.
That
That's
would,
all the
I
way
mean,
from Kankakee.
yeah, that's from a different county. That's from a different area
That's
code.
all the way from Kankakee.
He shot that from Wells Fargo. So that there's it's slightly different, but I mean it could be the downtown, but downtown is traditionally the 3-point line. So the next one, as Kanye West once mentioned, is a triple double.
Right. Okay. I feel like I know this, but I don't know. This could be wrong. It's like when you're like playing in a game and like your stats, one is like you have stat I don't know, like is it when like you're you have
You
3
got it.
stats that are in the double digits? Is that wrong? I don't know.
Nice. That
Yeah?
that
That's
is
that's
that is
actually it.
that's a triple
I'm
double. When you
doing
have
really
3
good.
different stats
Ah!
that were in double digits, triple double.
Very nice.
I'm very
Very
impressed with
well
myself
done.
right now.
Yeah. So now we're gonna stay in the basketball realm, and we're gonna hit you with one called the Euro step.
What the Euro step?
Oh, wow,
That's
VDV, wow.
if like you're European and you I really don't know. Like maybe like if you're European and you travel or if you like take one step when it should take two. I don't know.
Eh, well, that one was not quite it, but you are pretty solid in piecing euro and step to mean euro and step. But unfortunately,
Euro step is basically a basketball move that you use to lay the ball up, but it's basically to get rid of your defender. What you do is pick up your dribble, and you're dribbling to the lane, correct?
Yeah.
You pick up the ball, and then you take one step to the right or one step to the left, whichever direction you want to go first. You take 2 steps where you get rid of your defender and lay up the ball.
Oh, like a fake out.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you juke them out. Like
Yeah, it's
mm.
essentially to juke somebody out. You take one step in one direction, and then you take a even larger step in the other direction, and you go up for, traditionally a layup or dunk.
Why is it called Euro? What does it have to do with Euro?
I think it got popularized. Ginobili did it a lot. Tony Parker. So it was just more from that part of the world that it started to grow and become popularized.
Oh. My first one wrong, I think.
Too wrong. From downtown's not quite correct.
Ah,
The next one is another phrase. What a dime.
what a dime. I'm assuming this doesn't mean like a hot person. Like,
Like
oh,
top of the line,
they
cute
a
face,
dime
slim
piece.
waist with a
Like,
big behind.
damn. Let me
We
wipe
are
my
talking
eyebrows.
in
Dime.
basketball. Now,
So
I've
it's
been to
not
plenty
like
basketball games,
it
and
ain't like
I
it
don't
ain't
think
a
I've
10
heard
out of
people
10.
say, "Yeah, no, man, that's a
Okay.
dime right there."
So I'm
What
gonna
a dime!
what a dime. Like what a dime. Like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
assuming it has to do with 10, the number 10. What a dime? I don't know. What's a dime? Maybe it has nothing to do with a 10. Maybe like the shot was so good, it's a 10 out of 10. So you're like, "Oh, that was a dime." Like they hit a really good shot. Like,
Arden from downtown. Oh, that was a dime.
what is that what it means?
Not quite.
What's it
So
mean?
No,
I like your tracking of that. Not quite what the term means.
a dime is an assist. So I pass the ball, and that person who catches the ball then makes a basket. That is an assist. So a dime is a very nice assist. So when they say what a dime, they're basically saying, that was a great assist. What a
What?
dime.
I have
That's
never
a
heard that.
dime.
A dime.
Cute
What the
face,
heck?
slim waist with a big behind. And the last one we have here for you, Crystal. Ball don't lie. Ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie.
What does that
Ball
mean in sports?
don't lie. Like the ball ain't telling no lies. Like the basketball be telling the truth. I don't know. Ball don't lie. Let me think. Why is it in quotations? Like, is that something like people say a lot? Like,
Yeah, it's a phrase that people throw around.
ball don't
It's
lie.
definitely a quote.
Like, if someone says it normally,
Yeah, people
like
say
a
it,
specific, oh,
but
ball
someone
don't lie.
specifically did say it.
Ball
Um,
don't lie.
it means when like when would the ball not lie? Like if the ball hits outside of bounds and they do the replay and they're like, "Oh, the ball don't lie." Is that right?
Final answer?
Yeah, that's my final answer.
You know what? You essentially got that right.
Really?
You essentially got that right. It's basically
I'll
go
give you an
ahead.
example. I learned this when we were just playing pickup basketball or something. Say there's a call that's like that you can't replay. There's no referees around. One person goes, that went out of bounds. And I'm like, the ball didn't go out of bounds. So it's still my ball. And they say, you know what? Shoot for it. If you make this 3-pointer, it's yours. If you miss it, it's mine. Right. So then I shoot it and I make it. And I say, ball don't lie because that possession is mine. Whatever my
Oh,
call was, it is right. Ball don't lie. My skills show up to where that, inconsistency came from. So ball don't lie.
okay. That makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
that makes sense to what I said.
Basically
Yeah.
Something about
skills
I mean,
out
to
of
justifying.
go
bounds.
that far into kind of a term that is obviously not something you're familiar with would be impossible. But yes, the gist of
Yeah.
it is that. So I would say you got that right.
Heck yeah. I feel like
Rasheed Wallace
I'm
would
not
be
doing
proud.
too bad. I'm not doing too bad.
Ball
But now
don't
I'm really
lie.
nervous. I'm really nervous about this next part.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and hit you up with some referee calls. These are gonna be NBA calls. So, in conjunction with "Balls Don't Lie," Rasheed Wallace once said that right after a free throw, and he got hit with one of these.
One of these?
Yeah,
What is that?
if a referee
Um,
comes out,
I don't know. Like this is like a T symbol, but like it's not timeout. I know what timeout looks like. So maybe this is like turnover. I don't know. I'm gonna say turnover.
it is
Oh god.
technical foul. Technical
Oh,
foul. A little
technical
sports history
foul.
for you.
Technical
Oh,
foul.
dang
Rasheed
it.
Wallace got a technical foul for just simply saying "Ball don't lie."
You can get a technical foul for that.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
All right, Crystal. The next one is one of my favorites and also one of my least favorites. It really depends on what side you're on, but you get hit with one of these.
Oh, I know this. I know this. It's when you're like dribbling down the court and then like someone is like there on the other side of the court and the other guy like pushes him and he falls on the ground and sometimes they do it really dramatically. And they're like, "That's this." And then they're
Yeah.
like, "That then you get a free throw or something." Charge.
Very well done. That is a
Hey.
Yes.
charge. That
Yes.
is the charge
Nice.
call.
Woo!
Probably not a call you'll see during All-Star break, but never know.
So, one of the most common ones that you could possibly get is one of these. Although in the NBA, they tend to not give them out.
Easy. This is traveling.
Nice.
Hey.
Very well done.
They don't often call LeBron on that.
What would it mean if a referee were to blow his or her whistle, and do one of these?
Um, this means not in my territory. This means a tornado. He
Yeah, you also
he
see players doing it as well.
Imma go jump ball. I don't know. I have no idea. Turnover? Jump ball? I don't
I'll
know.
give you one more guess.
It's not turnover or jump ball. This means, everybody's going like this. Timer went off. He didn't hit the time. The shot clock is over. I'm gonna say that.
Not quite.
What is it?
Usually, when the referee blows his or her whistle and does one of these, they are going to check the replay.
Oh, that makes sense.
Check the
Okay.
replay.
2 more. This one is also one that you, either love to see or you hate to see, and it's one of the
What the freak is that? Um, I feel like I know this. Uh, uh, foul? Hold on. What the heck? Contact? Illegal touching. Um, I don't know. Let me get a good guess in. I don't know. Unnecessary block. That's not something.
very almost kinda close. It
Really?
Yeah,
is it
you're
is,
on the
what we
doorstep
call
there.
a blocking foul. So that is the opposite side
Oh.
of the charge, that if a player doesn't get his feet set or gets in the proper position or is in the restricted zone in the paint, they go for the charge, they get collapsed over, but they're moving on any of those other things. That is a blocking foul.
Woohoo!
Yep.
I'm gonna say I got a good like half point on that.
And the last one,
Oh, jump ball.
nice.
Yeah?
Hey,
Wow, I did
nice.
pretty
You knew
Very
that
nice.
good.
one.
Nice.
I watch basketball here and there. I know what's
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
Crystal got slightly over 50%. That's pretty
Very
good
nice.
for someone who doesn't really watch sports too much. Congratulations to Crystal. And she
Thank
is,
you,
well, I guess that's
everyone.
passing, right?
I
Crystal is
feel like
officially passed.
everybody didn't believe in me, but this is to all you people who didn't think I could do this. And I'd like to thank all my haters.
Oh,
Just
So that
kidding.
was our episode on collaboration. Happy NBA All Star Weekend. Enjoy your weekends. And remember, if you are collaborating, be sure to know the positives and the negatives of a collaboration. Try to sort out when people are slacking or maybe they're just agreeing nonsensically. And also step up to be a leader when you can, and don't deprive people of stepping up themselves. Make sure you contribute on your next project, your next work project, because it helps everybody. So here at On the Line, thank you for contributing and help contribute us with some things in the comments.
if you like that content and want more content like this, please like and subscribe to our Instagram and YouTube. And if for our viewers on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Really helps us a lot. Thank you again, and we are now off the line. What button do I press?
Did I do that?